Welcome to the Arrowhead Spotlight, the Aggie Shark Tank edition. Today, Alex Moon is here to talk to us about patient-specific 3D printed casts.
My name is Alex Moon. My product is a company called Exosseus. Exosseus is a 3D printed immobilization device company, or in layman terms, it is a cast company. We build patient-specific 3D printed cast. To do that, I have a nice patent pending software that's able to take an X-ray and go from an X-ray to a CAD file, and then that CAD file is able to be printed in a 3D form, and I can put it on a patient. My inspiration comes from the fact that I wrestled in high school, and I actually ended up breaking my wrist in high school while wrestling. I spent 6 weeks or so in a cast, and it was the most uncomfortable, horrible experience I think I've ever had in medicine. A couple years later, when I turned 18 years old, I ended up working in a hospital as an EMT. I worked 4 years in the busiest ER in the state of Kansas. 2 of those years, I also worked on Sedgwick County EMS, which is the busiest EMS service in the state of Kansas. So I have a very, very large emergency medicine background in which I learned a lot of splinting techniques, etc., when it comes to trying to help patients that have injured limbs, arms, legs, that sort of thing. So for me, I spent a lot of time in emergency medicine to try to help patients. I came down to New Mexico State for graduate school. I did a post-bac at the medical school that's here, and then I am now in graduate school for my PhD, and my PhD is in biology. And I saw that Arrowhead Center had an ability at Studio G to build companies. And I always had this idea of how do I make that horrific experience when I was in a cast better for, say, some little kid or somebody else that's coming up. Because there's no reason why now in this day and age that we should have that experience in medicine that is as bad as it is. That's the worst 6 to 8 weeks you can have because of how uncomfortable it is, how disgusting it is, how everything a cast is that gives it its negative connotations. I wanted to fix that. And more or less, now that I'm down here in Las Cruces, New Mexico, I wanted to be able to help kids enjoy their summer, if you want to call it that, and be able to sweat, play, get dirty, all that kind of stuff. And you can't do that with a regular cast, but you can with mine.
How are you preparing for the Aggie Shark Tank?
To prepare for Shark Tank, I have a provisional patent that was filed today as of 9/27/2018. And I also have a prototype that's being built. My prototype is an ankle, so I can have a left and a right built off the same scalable model. The scalable model makes it where the pattern stays, and I can change the dimensions from an X-ray that I acquire from a patient. I guess in essence for Shark Tank, I just have been trying to promote my social media and make that look nice. I've been making new prototypes, and I've got my provisional patent. So hopefully Shark Tank comes out promising.
How would an investment help the growth of your business?
As a graduate student, I don't have a lot of upfront capital to be able to take this in from the company that I see as a current startup to a very large company. 6 to 6.5 million people each year have to have a cast, which means there's a very large market in casting. To go from where I'm at now to that 6 to 6.5 million cast is a very large jump, and that has to be scaled. To scale, I had to have computers, I had to have printing machines, I had to have software, I had to have the infrastructure. And as a graduate student, I can't build that infrastructure. At least I can't readily build that infrastructure. It's very difficult for a startup to build something that's a large infrastructure like that. So an investment would be to help me in building that infrastructure, coming up with connections, helping me in the hospitals, trying to get these major groups of hospitals like Ascension that has 151 hospitals. I'm looking at how do I get into these groups? How can I get in and scale this business to a large extent? That's what the investment can help me with.
How has the Arrowhead Center helped you?
In essence, in one simple word, everything. If it wasn't for Arrowhead Center and Studio G, I don't think I would be in this spot that I am. Arrowhead Center has helped me go from an idea to getting me connected with people for like a patent attorney down in El Paso, and helping me build my prototype in essence. So I really thank Studio G and Arrowhead Center for the resources available. if you are somebody that has an idea and you think that maybe that it might be possible to build it into a company or build it into a prototype or something, because you want to see your idea from a napkin or a small simple drawing to something that's actually functional, I would say come over to Arrowhead and at least attempt it. Talk to them, see if they can scale it, see if they can make it, see if they can help you print it, whatever it may be. There's so many resources here that they're more than willing to help you with.
For more information about the 3D printed casts from Exosseus, visit Exosseus.com. And for more information about the Aggie Shark Tank, simply go to ArrowheadCenter.NMSU.edu/Aggie Shark Tank.